You can't handle the truth.
I'm gonna tell y'all the rules to survive this situation.
I hate to break it to you, but the truth is...
If I was what? Say it again. What'd you say? No, that's what I thought you said.
I always tell the truth. Even when I lie.
You know, if you wasn't my brother, I'd kill you. You know that, don't you? I'd blow your motherfucking brains
yourself, man. Let them know what's up.
My name's Trey Nitty Gritty, man. I'm from Waterloo, Iowa.
Order in the court. We hold court in the streets. I was just scrolling, minding my business. I was just minding my business.
This is not worth it. Ain't nothing worth leaving this and going in there. And ain't nothing worth not leaving that in there, coming back out here.
Yeah, listen, I wanted to make this announcement on 10/17 yesterday, but I just seen like my statement, my P&L with all my artists. You know, it's almost like a whole bunch of shake-up and it's a whole shit show in the industry right now. But when I look at my P&L and me being a businessman, I think that I'm gonna have to release almost all my artists except for POO SHIESTY and Fujiano.
Pussy nigga, hey, FDO, FTL, first day out, bitch. Fuck the feds, walked out the jail. I saw 6 phones. I just got out the bunk bed, 3 million cash. Can't fit in my hand, then sit some on my head. Babe, come put that pussy on me, bitch. I'm fresh from out the fed.
Ain't no motherfucking way. Ain't no way POO SHIESTY that motherfucking dumb, dog. 90 days out the feds, 90 days. This nigga got out in October. And within 90 days, you pull some Suge Knight with some Eazy shit. You know that didn't go well for Suge back then, and there wasn't no cameras. So it was just stories of niggas making Eazy sign Dre up. I was like, what type of shit you on?
I say fresh from out the feds, baby, come put that pussy on me. Turned this fuck in the strip club, ran out of one, start throwing hundreds. Nigga, I can't fumble shit, the whole world been waiting on it. Took that knife all the way to R&D, gave it to my little homie.
All I'm gonna say is, this shit don't make no sense, but it make all the sense at the same time.
I'm Ryan Rabel. I'm the U.S. Attorney for the Northern District of Texas. Thank you for coming. This week, 9 individuals, including well-known musical artists, kidnapped and robbed at gunpoint numerous victims at a music studio in Dallas, Texas. 8 of the 9 were arrested yesterday in Dallas, Memphis, and Nashville. These individuals who are charged and arrested include Lontrell Williams Jr., also known as POO SHIESTY, Lontrell Williams Sr., Rodney Wright Jr., also known as Big 30, Kadarius Waters, Demarion Gibson, DeMarcus Glover, Corday Johnson, Darian McDaniel, and Terrence Rogers has not been arrested yet, but will be soon. The complaint alleges that on January 10th of this year, 3 music industry professionals traveled to Dallas for a scheduled business meeting. Lontrell Williams Jr. arranged this meeting purportedly to discuss the terms of his recording contract with one of the victims. As alleged, once these 3 men were inside the recording studio, Williams Jr. and 8 co-conspirators, several of whom traveled from Memphis, Tennessee, executed a coordinated armed takeover. As alleged, Williams Jr. produced an AK-style pistol and forced one of the victims to sign a release from the recording contract at gunpoint. The remaining conspirators displayed firearms and robbed the other victims of Rolex watches, jewelry, cash, and other high-value items. One of the victims was actually choked by one of the defendants to the point of near unconsciousness. Defendant Wright barricaded the studio door with his body to prevent the victims from escaping. The ringleader of the conspiracy, Lontrell Williams Jr., was on home confinement at the time of the offense, as alleged, for a prior firearms conspiracy charge and conviction out of the Southern District of Florida. Towards the end of his prison sentence, he had been granted home detention. Part of the terms of his home detention were that he would not commit another federal offense or possess a firearm. His father, Lontrell Williams Sr., is alleged to have helped plan and execute the federal kidnapping as charged in the complaint, And as described further in the complaint, within hours of leaving the Dallas studio, a number of the defendants were on social media displaying some of the items that appeared to be the jewelry that had been robbed from the victims. The charging document outlines some of the evidence, just some, establishing the defendants' roles in the federal offense. This is as follows. Electronic monitoring data placing Williams Jr. at the offense location, which would put him in violation of his home detention conditions. Cell phone records and license plate reader data corroborating the coordinated travel of multiple defendants from Memphis, Tennessee to Dallas. Rental car records confirming Williams Sr. rented a vehicle that was used by the group. Surveillance footage from the offense location, a nearby office supply store, and a hotel where several of the defendants stayed following the offense. Fingerprint evidence as well that was recovered from the crime scene, matching at least two of the defendants. Social media posts by defendants displaying what appears to be stolen property just in the days following the offense. Greyhound bus records confirming the travel of multiple defendants from Dallas to Memphis the day after the offense. In this case, came to Dallas to conduct legitimate business, and they were met with firearms and violence as alleged in the charging document.
I just hope that people will wait to pass judgment on Rodney and these other individuals until all the facts come out. He doesn't have a criminal history, he doesn't have a criminal record. He's been making music for a number of years. He and POO SHIESTY kind of came up in the music game together, and they were sort of like, they're very close, and they made, some magical music.
He's got the Hobbs Act robbery. He's got the 924C. Oh, he's got a new 924C. Ooh. Y'all don't understand what motherfucking bag they done tricked him and put him in. If you got a second and successive 924C, Father, in the name of Jesus, I would like to pray. Everybody bow your heads. Father, in the name of the B.O.P. Jesus, the little baby lamb with the short leg on top of the mountain, everybody sang. POO SHIESTY about to go down.
I've never snitched on nobody. I never wrote a statement on one, and I never will. That's how I feel. I'm a true G. I never snitch on a nigga. Where we from, we gon' do that. For real, this is your niggas. We stand down for ourselves. Like, if I gotta go, I'm gonna go. I done went before. I don't want to snitch on a nigga to save my nobody's life, not even my own.
Ballin' in LA, the place where rappers get extorted. But I'm a walking murder charge, a case I can't afford it. This little bitch a freak, she keep on begging me recorded. I looked into the mirror and told myself I'm gorgeous. Hey, big shots the gang, we extorting shit. I'm really rich, I'm robbing, might slime my way on the Forbes list.
Going into these record contracts, music contracts, a lot of people be blind, man, and they don't really be looking at nothing except for the opportunity at the time. And then, like, once they get into the contract, they might turn into a certain type of artist and develop themselves and elevate to a level to where they feel like they don't need nobody no more. You know, a lot of times that be the case, and then it'd be like a situation that they can't just get themselves out of because they want to, you know, especially when they going so far into detail in these contracts with the person that's drawing them up, you know, and they damn near make it impossible to get out of. Once they start seeing the things that go on behind the scenes and realizing like how much money they could have made versus what they actually made, then, you know, you got situations to where, like, you know, you might leave and be gone for a while and the person still making money off of you. So I think that, you know, POO SHIESTY probably felt like he deserved more, and he wanted to get out of his deal for more than one reason. But it was just like Gucci, you know, really could have let him out of his contract. You know, he could have came up with some type of deal, but he wanted to be greedy. He wanted to keep him signed because he knew he had him in a chokehold. So he wasn't finna let him out that contract like that. You know, when you sign people that do certain things and live a certain lifestyle, then, you know, it's liable to come back and bite you. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be careful who you're dealing with in business like that. But you also got to know who you're dealing with. So if you don't know who you're dealing with, you might have done something to somebody and try to treat them a certain way, but you don't know just really how they get down. So Gucci Mane changed that man's life. You know, Gucci signed him, put him on, and, you know, things happen. You know, everybody off Gucci label started, you know, falling off and going to jail and dying and, you know, different things was going on. Then he ended up releasing all of his artists from his label. So if it was so easy for him to release all the rest of the artists from the label, he could have just let POO SHIESTY go, you know what I'm saying? And then POO SHIESTY's like, he a whole nother situation where he trying to get out of this contract, and you willing to go to this extent to do all of this just to try to get out this contract, just to go sign with another person that's gonna have you an exact same contract or maybe even a worse one. It don't really make no sense to me. That's what don't make no sense to me. If you was gonna try to get out your contract, you should be trying to become a boss, or you should be trying to be the CEO and not being signed to no record label, at least go get distribution or something like that. The thing is this, man, you know, Gucci was known for being a robber. That's how he even got in the game. Like, he been, you know, they've been saying he was a robber or whatever, you know. Now they trying to turn around and say he a snitch because he told on, you know, POO SHIESTY and them about this situation. But really, he been told, you know what I'm saying? It's just people try to sweep it under the rug.
You know, I just really don't like this nigga throwing my name and all this shit to sell records. That's a whole move. Any nigga from any hood know if you get in any type of trouble and a nigga throw your name in that shit, he's a snitch ass nigga. And that's what he is, a bitch ass, snitch ass nigga.
He told that back then, so if y'all don't consider that snitching, then, you know, y'all wasn't trying to consider him a snitch anyway, you know, but the bottom line is he did what he did, and it is what it is. So now, they finna have to go and fight this in court, you know what I'm saying? The raw truth is, you know, when you in situations like that, you gotta go read them contracts before you sign the contract. Don't get into the contract and then, you know what I'm saying, sign the contract without reading the contract and then get upset about the contract once you find out what's in the contract, because there's too much information out here now, man. We all have seen this happen over and over with all these artists. They got movies about it, you know what I'm saying? We got real life stories about it. You know, it's just, that's just how it goes. You know, the business ain't set up for the artist to win. Going to the feds, man, they got that, they got a sentencing guideline table that they go off of, you know, and depending on the offense that you get, you know what I'm saying, that you get charged with, it's like, you can start off on the base level, it's like a multiplication chart. You know, on this side, it's gonna be your base level offense. Then on the top, you got categories, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And all of that depend on your criminal history. So if you got any type of criminal history, they're gonna add the points up, and it might be like this, and then it might end up, you know, start you off at, you know, 10 to life, or 15 to life, or 20 to life, or, you know, it might start off at life. You don't know what it'll do. It's just about, it depends however they calculate your past and compare it with your crime that you being accused of at the time. So first off, kidnapping, you know, that's a very serious offense, you know what I'm saying? Then when you got, I don't know how it's gonna go, but they saying it was like more than one person, so I wonder if it'd be like, you know, 3 different counts of kidnappings, or how that's gonna work. I don't know how that's gonna work, but I just know kidnapping alone, and then having guns and felon in possession of a firearm, and then a robbery over a certain amount of money, you know, that's like, it's kind of a big case in the feds, like, you know what I'm saying? And they be talking about some crazy time, you know?
This is a decision I didn't want to make. I thought about it, you know what I'm saying? I could keep all of them under the contract. But I said, hey, fuck it. Let's just make the unselfish decision and, you know, let them take their talents elsewhere. So today, you know what I'm saying, I already reached out to all of my artists, you know what I'm saying, to their lawyers and whatever, and let them know that they're free to take their talents elsewhere. And I'm still looking for new talent to pair up with, you know what I'm saying, POO and FOO, and that's where I'm gonna put my focus, and I just wish them the best.
Then I seen the post from Rayshawn Howard. It said, a lot of these so-called street niggas are not real gangsters. They're emotional, certified crash dummies with guns. POO SHIESTY is a perfect definition of a certified crash dummy. Crash dummies lack emotional intelligence and they react off impulse. Crash dummies also lack good leadership skills. Crash dummies are not strategic thinkers. They move off pride and let their ego get the best of them. Also, everybody in POO SHIESTY's camps got to be a bunch of goofy yes men because nobody told him, hey bro, this is not a good move, let's try a different route. This what happens when you let pride override logical thinking. Shaking my head. Real gangsters don't move and operate like that, POO SHIESTY. Real gangsters move militant and in silence. Crash dummy of the century. It's crazy.
My robber rapper right out the session. Give me them keys and they watching that necklace. I need them Cuban links and them Bugattis. Ain't no more posting on IG and flexing. I'm the one rapping but steady be stepping. I'm coming late in your dream like I'm Freddy. How you gonna run from an automatic weapon?
Now on just one station, surveillance cameras showing a new view of a violent shootout in a parking lot of a South Florida apartment building. The barrage of bullets sending 2 people to the hospital, and it lands a rapper in jail. 7 Sheldon Fox with the exclusive.
Broad daylight bullets, 2 hit, over $500,000 in exotic cars. All of it on surveillance video obtained exclusively by 7 News from October in ultra-quiet Bay Harbor Islands.
I got that night because I'm fine.
And it involves a recording artist, POO SHIESTY, except unlike this clip, what happened here was no music video. The footage shows a McLaren sports car, Mercedes Maybach, and another Mercedes pull into this East Bay Harbor Drive condo parking lot. Men from the vehicles eventually get out and meet, and then this. The man in the white shirt has a pistol. The man in the black sweatshirt has a longer gun, and at about the same time, they begin firing before retreating back to the Maybach. The fancy getaway cars speed off, and one of 2 victims then hobbles to the car.
Skyforce 836.
The victims ended up at Aventura Hospital with injuries. But back to the scene for a moment. Police say the famous rapper was in that McLaren.
If I shoot my gun 300 shots.
Police and prosecutors say POO SHIESTY was part of the group that ended up in this parking lot that October afternoon where the shots flew. And it happened right across the street from the police department and town hall here in Bay Harbor Islands, and days before an arrest.
The town of Bay Harbor Islands says you're wanted for aggravated battery with a deadly weapon.
He's also charged with armed robbery. Bay Harbor Police names one other for aggravated battery in their affidavit, saying the 2 left the state in a private jet. Police also using these Instagram photos, showing SHIESTY with an assault-style rifle and cash as part of their case. They say the shooting came as one of the victims tried selling high-end sneakers and marijuana.
Who, they got the right guy?
Come on, bro, you gotta get in with me, man.
All right, so look at your rim.
Get your phone up. Put my phone on there. Get your phone there, girl. Give me slime. Give my slime over here.
Hey, that nigga POO SHIESTY said, don't let that shit go over your head. Ain't nobody slime, it's me. Woo!
Did that.
On my kids, Lil Durk, he fucked you up. All that POO on really SHIESTY shit, no. Unless you really set King Von up. That's only how you gonna beat him.
Go to hell, Steve.
Man, that's the only way you gonna be SHIESTY than SHIESTY. That nigga just robbed his CEO. Damn, that boy cut.
Code D jumped in the streets, he showed me lanes. Your daddy a killer, but you ain't, you just like Bronny James. Asked her where she want my kids, she told me grab the brush and paint. So I ain't right at her forehead and tried to spell out my name. I got locked, nigga dropped $1 million worth salt around my game. Please tell me that shit fell about they pocket skinny, man. Please tell these rap niggas saying blur without permission that they stealing. Memphis minutes, kids say no to drugs and they on right to killing. She choose, but her lips ain't move. I read her eyes, they said pimp. See, bae, I'm least likely some pimping, but I'm more likely a bachelor. Super SHIESTY, crooked letter, David Banner. In the trap, feeling like O-Dog watching hits I did on camera. Out on papers, with a 922 G sitting on my counter. I'm out on papers, with a full of ARP sitting on the counter.